had enough yet? Or you want more?
Oh, we want more.
Would you like some
We
more?
want it all.
Right on the floor, right?
Alright, it's recording now? Alright, we're back onto it. So we've got 12 minutes before we need to change the technical issue here. So the precedent at the Supreme Court of Canada. How could the province of Quebec be enabled in 1868 to change a British North American Act, since the Supreme Court cite the following? Thirdly, the British Parliament cannot make a change to the Constitution of Canada at the sole request of a Canadian province. They're not country. Some attempt has been made by province in that direction without any success. The first, which date back to 1868, so 1 year after the BNA Act, emanated from the province that was not satisfied.
Which province was that?
I don't know. I don't have the judgment with me. We took excerpt from those judgments. So you wanna have them? I can give you the number. You got it there. Supreme Court 1998, 2 SRC, blah 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 blah. The judgment's there. Alright, I'm gonna go faster here, even though it was pretty fast up until now. De facto, I'm gonna read, and that's the status of the government right now. De facto, and they're not government, by the way, they're criminal. Indeed, that's the direct translation. In fact, it is a Latin word. This phrase is used to characterize an officer, a government, a past action, or state of affair which exists actually, for now, and must be accepted for all practical purpose, but which is illegal and or illegitimate. In this sense, it is the contrary of de jure, which means rightful, legitimate, just, or constitutional. Thus, an officer, king, government de facto is one who is in actual possession of the office, or supreme power, but by usurpation, in respect to lawful title, while an officer, king, or governor de jure is one who has just claim and rightful title to the office or power, but who has never had plenary possession of the same, or is not now in actual possession. What is de jure? Exactly what we're doing today. Of right, legitimate, that's the translation. The meaning is lawful, by right and just title. In that sense, it is a contrary of de facto. It may also be contrasted with de gratia, which means, in which case it means as matter of right, or by grace or favor. Again, it may be contrasted with equitate, here meaning by law, as the latter mean by equity.
So how do you say that word again? De jure?
De jure. De jure.
Yeah,
de jure could do, but it's not really the right pronunciation. De jure, it's Latin. Even I have problem in my French, so we don't speak Latin anymore. It comes from the Black Law Dictionary, those definitions, by the way. So if you don't believe us, I don't care. Facts are facts. So Canada is a registered corporation, which was brought before the grand jury. Canada is a corporation since the coup d'etat of 1968 by the national state of Quebec. This goes against the judgment of the Supreme Court of Canada related to the secession of Quebec. It's registered as a corporation with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. If you don't believe us, I don't care. Go and check the sec.gov.us. And by the way, the government of the United States has the same problem. They're a corporation. And type in Canada, and you will see that it said, like here at the bottom, it says Corporation of Canada. We've highlighted and put in red for you. So, believe me or not, it is a corporation, and the address of the corporation is the Canadian Embassy. They're not embassy of anything, but a corporation. So, anyway, they're located 501 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C., and you got a postal code and the phone number if you want to give them a call and ask them a question, but I guarantee they won't answer. Because Washington, D.C. is not a part of the United States either. It is a city-state, one of three who has pulled a coup d'etat, the worldwide coup d'etat, because it is not solemnly limited to Canada what happened. There are three city-states. We can trace back the problem to the city of London when they burnt it down in 1666, for those who like number. The city of London is not part of London, the city, which is totally different. It's a town, it's a whatever you call it. But yeah, the city of London is a 2 square kilometer enclave within that city that we know as London. It is not part of United Kingdom, and this is where it happens that the Bank of England has set its office. So it's a foreign office there as well. They have the same problem there. But I told you I don't do politics and I don't do international, so I'll let them deal with their trashy situation. We've got plenty on our hands. But I'm just going to put this in bracket. Vatican City is not part of Rome, and it's not part of Italy. So, yeah, the 3 city-states, they're all in it together. Parliament of Canada Act, to prove to you again with facts that we don't have a government, or at least not a legal government in any way, shape or form. You can read it for yourself. It's an act respecting the Parliament of Canada, which was written in 1985. Article 2 says, Parliament shall not determine or be dissolved by the demise of the Crown, and notwithstanding the demise shall continue and may meet, convene, and sit, proceed, and act in the same manner as if that demise had not happened. Demise means a person dead, conveyance, or transfer of property or title by demising. And it's also a synonym of devolution, the transfer or delegation of power to a lower level, especially by a central government to a local or regional administration. And we have the court case to say that this is all illegal. A province cannot assume the federal government level power, and the same goes around. The federal government power cannot assume power of province, but none of these can assume the charge or power of the Queen or the King, or otherwise known as sovereign. Everybody, and this is what we call partition of power. Everybody has their own duty, and they cannot be expected, nor they can assume the duty of other. When I'm the janitor, you don't touch my broom. When I'm the neurosurgeon, the janitors can certainly not come in and use the scalpel. That's as simple as that. And the neurosurgeon cannot tell the janitor to do his job. Do your job. So, who is Queen Elizabeth? I don't know. If anybody can give me an answer. I know her real name, though. Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. That's her family name. That's what it says on her credit card. Else than that, I don't know. Rothschild puppet, most likely. So, we've provided you with remedy up until now through the grand jury. Now we're taking a notch up the step about remedy of Canada. We've written and notarized a royal claim of right. That was the last time the notary public was involved in anything that we do, because he's not more legal than anything else. So by the way, your transaction on your own has nothing legal. But it was still done, so it's still an act. So we've written the royal claim of right, sent it to Westminster and Buckingham Palace, and we've got
2 letters from the Queen. No, we had no answer, but the years before I had.
Yeah, your thing before. Let's not talk about it. So no answer.
No
so
answer.
What do you get when you get no answer? You get a default. When you get a default, your way is the right way. So the constitutional case, freedom of association, was also sent to Westminster and Buckingham Palace. This is when you got your letter. The office replied that the case should be addressed to the de facto Governor General of Canada, sending us back, and I'm speaking on behalf of Angèle here, sending us back to the accused. So, yeah, they have nothing to say for their own defense. Parliament Act 1995 can be translated from French directly, thanks to my friend Google. The devolution of the crown does not have the effect of interrupting or dissolving the parliament, which can continue to function as if there has been no devolution. And I'll tell you right now, this law has no legal or lawful validity. So, in other words, they could not have done that. So they're acting now, Parliament, pretending that there's a queen, accusing you in criminal justice as if there's a crown. It's all a lie, and we can prove it. Take a penny out of your pocket, but you don't have any, because you don't have many pockets or pennies. And you can notice the difference. One has a crown, the other one has not. By the way, if they pulled out the penny, how much penny do you need to make $1? Ah, yeah, 100. So if the penny is illegal, 100 pennies, even if they're represented under one coin, it's also illegal. So your dollar is worth nothing. They have no right to take out that penny from circulation. What they should have done is keep one in the Bank of Canada saying this is worth every penny in Canada. But no, they've flat out taken it up. It's not a valid currency anymore. So therefore, all you have in your pocket, all you ever worked for, all you will earn in the future is fiat. We're going to skip the next one. Alright, so part of the solution, I just told you, we written a royal claim of right. On top of that, we created a de jure society, and we hope to offer you a position into that de jure society today, which is going to be an historical moment. So we formed a not-for-profit society in 2017, so that was 2 years ago to this day, and sent the royal claim of right to Westminster and Buckingham Palace. The Royal Public Society of Canada is also known under acronym from French, SRPC, so Société Royale Publique du Canada. So the SRPC forms the official, lawful and constitutional government of Canada by consent and authorization of the people of Canada. Why is so? Because the grand jury was made of people and they told us to move our ass to correct the situation. So that was part of it. Under the Great Seal of Canada, even though it is being currently detained in the House of Commons, we cannot go there and just break in. They have it, but it's still ours. By the Canada Act 1982, Chapter 11 from the UK, all other legal positions of the Government of Canada of low rank, this includes the elected official, are to be filled according to the criteria of the function in question based on the need of people in Canada. And I'm going to take excerpt now from the Royal Claim of Right to show you we were very serious about it. Whereas the Monarchy of Canada or Sovereign of Canada, as well as the Constitutional Monarchy of Canada, has not legally, lawfully, or constitutionally designated an official successor, name, or by hereditary inheritance of royal right, royal lineage of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Scotland. Should have read Ireland here. It's me who made a little mistake. Whereas good government requires that public policy be based on the supreme law of the Constitution of Canada, which render inoperative any contrary position. You will recognize this as Article 52 from the Constitution. In other words, whereas the people of Canada as a whole, so you, superior in fact as well as in law, is and remain the owner beneficiary of the Sovereign of Canada, delegated in trust through the Canada Act 1982, Chapter 11 from the UK, as Royal Sovereign of Canada or King of Canada, all constituting the nation of Canada. So once again, it is your country. You are at the top of the food chain, and everything that you've created to serve you can never, ever emancipate from you. It's just that you forgot it, or you will lie about it. Whereas the Royal Sovereign or King of Canada is a public servant and all federal, provincial, or territorial delegate, and I will add to this any entity, corporation, appointed by him to ensure public order and good governance of Canada are subject to the Constitution of Canada. Note that people of Canada is not in that sentence. You are the owner beneficiary, and you will always remain the owner and beneficiary. Whereas the royal right claim does not constitute a rebellion, a revolt, or a revolution, nor unlawful or criminal opposition. This act does not constitute in any way the revocation of any, if they exist, of the royal right to the rightful claimant. This act does not constitute an infringement on the previous royal person, nor does it infringe on any act resulting from a prohibited or criminal act. The present claim of royal right public act is presented with a view to redressing wrong for public order and good governance. How much time?
Oh, how much time on this? Carl? How much time on that?
Oh, on this thing?
Yeah.
Says 12. Oh, let's say 12. I can't even glasses? Yeah, I don't know. You might have to look. I'm the worst person you could ask for.
So we're reaching. Alright, I got officially 1 hour to finish this thing.
Perfect. to change your SD card or is just your battery?
No, the disc.
Or your desk? Oh, what's your desk?
Yeah. That's cool, eh?
Oh, shit.
Those are programmed. Those are programmable.
I thought you had pennies.
Ya, es que no sé. Kuhan, pas Kuhan. Ouais. Anyway,
Someone got the press right.
Program settings, sir?
Well, it's not got no crowd, but he does.
Somebody
I would never serve as well.
Sorry.
Alright, we're back into it. Alright, Elizabeth II, no comments. Previous Queen of hereditary right or legitimate Canada sovereign or any other person having right in the order of succession has not expressed any desire or wish to resume the role of royal sovereign of Canada entrusted by the people after the official devolution of so Act of Parliament 1985, subsequent to the repatriation of the Constitution of the Canada Act 1982, blah blah blah, to this day. The absence alone justify the present claim of royal right. De jure political legitimacy reinforce the legal validity for Denny First, hereby present, in regard to the royal claim of right of the title and function of King of Canada. The 20 years of an acquired right in relation to the independence of Canada have passed, thus undoubtedly removing any right that would have been acquired by hereditary or past legitimacy. So if you doubt anything, this is the last act that was done before an old republic. Here it is, the Denny the King, Denny the First, King of Canada, swearing his oath to the Constitution on April 4th, 2017 in the Town Hall of the Municipality of La Macasa. You recognize the flag that is here, and the Constitution that is here, and the Royal Claim of Right that is here. These are all the original documents that were here. And that's pretty much what we had then when we did that. So this is when he was sworn into his post or his title, which was coming in effect. Next slide, please. Oh, sorry. This is what he said that day. I'll read that to you. And I'm speaking on behalf of King Denny I right now. I swear that all that is represented by the present claim does not constitute normality. It is made by extraordinary recourse as a matter of urgency in assistance to person in danger, or human in danger if you prefer, under the law of the Good Samaritan Act, in order to defend the people and the nation of Canada through the application of the Canada Act 1982, chapter blah blah blah. I swear that I have no personal interest in doing so, that I act in good faith in order to redress wrongdoing. I swear the truth of all the facts alleged to the best of my knowledge. In order to justify this claim, I swear allegiance to the Canada Act 1982, chapter 11, blah blah blah. I sign freely and voluntarily by Denis Paiement, King of Canada. We have crowned Denis Paiement in front of Parliament on July 1st, 2017, in front of everybody. It was a public act. We have not hidden anything from the people. It's not because they haven't showed up that we haven't tried. We were there. This is a video. This is a picture from a video. There were many cops around us. They put barrier exactly just for us to do that. They were expecting us. Because we were public about it. It was done. It's been 2 years. Nobody has contested. And then he's there. He's alive. Are you alive? T'es-tu en vie?
Yeah. You're not in jail. What the hell?
Alright, how have we done that?
Oh, yeah,
We-
flip it.
We simply went there and we've done it. Did we ask permission to anybody? No. Fuck no. Oh, just no.
Excuse
No.
the French.
Excuse my French. It needed to be done. It needed to be done for 88 years, ladies and gentlemen, if not more. When Britain sent us the status of Westminster, they basically told Canada to go themselves. We don't want anything to do with you anymore. Because the goal of the First World War and subsequently Second World War was to destroy the British Empire. And they succeed. Then they didn't care about the empire itself. What they wanted to get rid of was common law. Because that was what was preventing them from taking over everything, including your life. And they knew back in 1936, because we were too slow to understand back then. Well, I wasn't there because I could have got it. But Roger Russell Smith understood. He was part of whatever, government of Alberta, I think, at the time. And he pointed at it, and you can see it here. And I've got the document. If you don't believe in it, I don't care. It is the fact. And he said back then, the next step is what we're doing today, is an interprovincial conference where an agreement can be reached upon the power to be conferred to the central government or on the central government, and the power which must be retained by the province. First of all, power must be conferred upon appointed representative of all the province, so as to carry on the government of Canada, and with the power to call an election as soon as possible after the Constitution has been ratified by the people of each and all the provinces. So, welcome. You're it. Is there anything that I need to explain about what Roger Russell Smith knew in 1937? Is it too hard to understand that we're doing the right thing? You understand now why the RCMP is not smashing through the door? It is the right thing to do in a peaceful assembly of the people. And we may come from Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, Labrador, or British Columbia, or anything in between that I want to name. Well, I'll name it all. Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec, and New Brunswick. We're all here. Exactly for that. We're doing the right thing, and anybody who is not here is wrong. I don't care what your name is. Next step for a de jure society. So after I'm done talking, or you kick me out because you've had enough of me, this is what's going to happen. The next step of a de jure society. Signature of the Act of Union of the de jure Canada. Reading and signature on the Constitution of Canada. 1867-1982. Anybody that will tell you, why don't you write your own constitution? I got an answer. Go and take a hike. Nomination of de jure Governor General and Lieutenant Governor for each province, and a renewal of the royal claim of right for at least 2 years. We've had the de jure King for 2 years. He's done a good job. Anybody will tell you he's a tyrant. He's not a tyrant. He's not ordered anything to the people. He did issue order for the government to stand down, or the criminal organization, because there's no government. Nothing addressed to you, and he's right there. If you feel like he's a tyrant, go and look at him. And tell him straight in the face he's a fucking...
Excuse your French.
You're done.
Kick me out. We're gonna take a break now.